do is I'm going to put together a list of drills and stuff that I've done over the past or I've gotten from coaches, and it won't necessarily have descriptions on it, but if you have questions or you need me to describe them a little bit more, I can, so that way I'll put some descriptions on it too.
So is there a certain thing that you do at the start of every practice? So as soon as they get into the gym?
We usually do that ball control circuit every day. Like, our passers would go through that for the first 20 minutes of practice every day. Our middles would go over and do their middle footwork and stuff, and then our setters would warm up on the other court as well. But the people who are the primary passers, the people who are going to be touching the ball a lot, are doing that ball control circuit every day. It just gets them into the same motions. Now Maddie's done this for 3 or 4 years now. Susan's done the same thing. Like, they can do it with their eyes closed now. So it really gets these girls to their form is much better, and the way they attack balls is a lot better. You see a lot of girls crossing over. If they do this every single day, they'll shuffle more and they'll get to the ball a lot faster.
You know, I don't know if we introduced Jamie at the start of it. Maybe not everybody's met him yet, but this is Jamie Sumapaiya. Jamie's the head coach for the Stillwater volleyball team. And he's our coaching coordinator this year, so he's a resource for our coaching staff. And Maddie Brandon and Susan Evans, the models. Thank you so much. So,
Olivia, the photographer.
Yeah. Anybody else have questions?
I was just going to add to that. I think the one thing that we just want to make sure is that we're trying to align our program with the high school. So the reason that we asked Jamie to come in and show us what's going on is because we want the same sorts of drills to happen from the 12s all the way up to the 17s. So when these girls, as they advance through the program, when they get to the high school level, the 9th grade and on, they're going to be doing these sorts of drills, and it's already going to be familiar to them. So that's why we wanted to make sure that we show these drills and it becomes part of SAJO as well.
And a conversation we had before this about the 6251, do you want to share that with them too?
Oh, as far as
Is that expectation?
the expectations? Let's hold off on that to the very end. Is there anything else that you want to?
I just want to say, like, if you guys ever have any questions, either regarding drills or practice planning or what works, what doesn't, situational type stuff, let me know. I'll be happy to help you guys out in any way.
About their stretching warm-up, anything particular when they first do
Just
it?
ready to show dynamic.
Yeah.
They just go through a dynamic warm-up. It's usually chatterbox hour, but you know, it's the same thing. They come in and it's I don't even have to tell them what to do. We say, all right, let's get warmed up, and they just go.
Yeah, what we see happening.
Yeah, and it's the same thing that happens with us right now. Is they're at M1, the girls are talking more, and they just feel like they're warmed up. And you just gotta be like, keep going. You know, the more that they can warm themselves up, the easier practice is going to be for them, the less injuries they're going to have. You know, it's not stretching. You don't want a static stretch like before practices. Warm up the body, get it moving, get the blood flowing with limbs, and at the same time, creating athletic movement so that these girls are getting warm. From head to toe right there, these guys are warming themselves up and they're getting ready to play volleyball. So it's just preventing injury more than anything. But yeah, so you'll see girls even just going through the motions. So you gotta kind of get on them and let them know that if you guys don't take this serious, you're gonna get injured. And I've seen it before where girls come in and miss a warm-up and they try and just come into practice and they get hurt. So we always make sure they warm up before practice.
The other drill you're talking about was passing.
They do the half pipe, they do the short and deep, and we even add in angles every now and then.
Have you been talking about the passing back and forth, and then somebody will switch, and then they have to pass?
Yeah, that was what we were doing for last year's program.
Okay, we're not doing it this
No,
year.
what we're going to do is we're going to align with this program this
Okay.
year. And that's,
Okay.
I thought I had said earlier, the first couple of weeks, we're still going to align with what we did last year
Okay.
when we had our first coaching
Okay.
thing. So now we've got the material, and I'll probably send out an email and kind of talk to us a little bit
Okay.
about what to expect.
Okay.
But now what we want to do is start working on these sorts of activities and forget what we were doing
Okay.
previously. Because 2 years ago, we were doing something where we were on our knees.
Yes.
It was aligning something with the program at that time.
You guys can still do that where you pass like this.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I do with the younger kids too, and what that does is it just gets them to move forward and punch here, and you guys can definitely do that. That was something that I was gonna have put in the drills, but I mean, we don't do it with our girls just because they already know how to get to this. Now we just need to work their footwork more than anything. But
Yeah, I think we should keep that same warm-up drill that we were doing. It is so good for repetition and for form to be down and in front, catching the ball. And then I liked his drill here though with the shuffling and the elbows down because it forces them to get placed in with the ball in front of them versus, they're all over the
you'll
place.
see a lot of girls too, and they'll move with their hands out or they'll move with their hands out here. And if I was to race somebody with my hands out here, I'm not gonna move fast. But if I'm in here, now I get to move like an athlete. So that's the same thing as we teach these girls to move. Even when we're playing volleyball, everything's in here. Because now I can just throw my hands out and create those angles versus doing this and swiveling my hips. That's another thing that I forgot to mention is when these guys pass with these angles, it prevents swiveling here. So we don't want these girls to pass the ball here and do this. Because now everything is facing that way, my strength is that way, and it's really hard for me to get that ball back to target. That same ball that's over here, that same ball that's here, instead of swiveling and trying to do this, because that's when that ball is going to fire off that way, or go over the net. That same ball I take here, without swiveling my hips, I'm still facing this way, I just create that angle, and now I move back into the ball, back towards the target. So that's something that's a key word that we use a lot is don't swivel. Don't swivel, don't swivel. Because this right here makes you weak in the back.
Do you care what their hands are doing when they pass?
This or this.
We're seeing a lot of,
Nothing like this.
not so far. Although,
No,
we did have one. I don't know what that
They've,
was. So you don't care about that?
yes and no. As long as their platform's strong, keep your posture off the platform. What I'll do with kids all the time when I'm trying to tell them how to pass is I say, hold me up. So she sits here, and that's how strong her platform is. She has to keep it strong when she passes. So now when she punches, it's strong. Okay? A lot of kids, you'll see it. And I'll say, hold me up. And they'll do this, and they'll fall over. Okay? That's another thing is we want their weight towards the front of their feet, and if they have a platform,
Yeah, that was kind of like that. I don't understand.
I'm really messing her
There
up
you go.
now. Just messing her up.
So what happens is right now her platform is uneven. This one's flattened out and this one's crooked. You see that? And that's what we don't want is we don't want two different things because it could go off this one and be perfect, and then the minute it hits this one, it's like a board versus a baseball bat. You know what I mean? When we pass, put your thumbs to the ground, and now it becomes a solid platform right here. And it's strong. Another thing is like, she's done this well enough that she can hold me up. You'll see kids that'll try and pass up here. Hold me up, ready? And now they have to do that, okay? And it's the same thing is put your platform to the side and drop your shoulder. Okay? She keeps it in front, now pushing the knee, right? She can still be strong right here and create that angle. Okay? Now turn your hips. Turn your hips out. Now stay facing me. Now hold me up. It's really weak. She was doing that because she knew that I was trying to make her weak. But at the same time, like that's the difference in swiveling. If one thing that's really underrated with volleyball girls is their core. Like they don't understand that they use it for everything. serving, setting, hitting, passing, your core is super strong. It needs to be. And the minute I take my core out of it is the minute I become weak. So if I sit in here and I hunker down here, I'm still using my core right here, and boom. Now I just shift my weight, and that core and everything goes with it. But technically, you'll see stuff all over the place with hands. You know, there were some people out in Europe that were teaching where you grab your pinky and you put it down, or you pass like this. You just see a bunch of stuff, but I'd rather see you're either here or here, and your thumbs are pointed down. If your thumbs are uneven, your platform's going to be uneven, so you really want everything to be even. Yeah. Anything else?
Any other questions about the drill or anything? So to just circle back to what Laurie was talking about, so we sent out a spreadsheet that said, this is the expectation of the different levels. When they come in 14 or the 12s, they should be coming out at the end of the season with these skills. 13s, 14s, so on and so forth. So we want to make sure that we look over that spreadsheet one last time and understand what our role is as coaches coming in, what the expectation. Each one of our kids should come out of the program at the end of the season with those certain skill sets. We talked about 6'2" and 5'1". We've had some coaches ask, is it okay if we keep 5'1"? Realistically, we don't really care if they can handle it, if the team is good enough. But realistically, the 6'2", we want to teach them as early as possible. So even at the 12s level, if you can run a 6'2", you've got good enough setters if they get the concept. I think they should at least teach the 6'2". Whether or not they can do it or not is a different story, but you can start teaching them so they understand, because at the 13th level, we really should be, running 6'2s and things like that. Let's see, what else have we talked about?
I think that was the main one.
Okay. Anything else you can think of?
Can you send me that spreadsheet?
Yeah. I'll resend out the entire thing. In fact, what we're going to try to do is capture this and then put it out on the website, because everybody should have access to that coaching section now. And so we'll put that out there when we capture the video, get that chopped up into sections. We'll get that out on the website so you have a place to go look at, refresh your course. So yeah, this is the drill that they ran. This is how they did it. Anything else?
Right in the middle.
In the meantime, I think if anything comes up, let us know, the age coordinators. You can reach out to Jamie for any questions if you have anything that we're missing.
Any better? I just sent him a reminder because he said, I can afford to send all those replacement parts over and the janitors and put it all up, and nothing's been changed. So I don't know if he's ordered it or if the janitors haven't put it up or what. That was a month ago. So I just emailed him last week and said, we got this.
It's really hard. Wow.
Well, the holes even, ours just keeps
going down.
Yeah,
It takes us like how many times?
I asked him for
15
new
minutes?
straps and new strength for the nets and stuff like that. I don't know if I can do much about this whole system.
I find if once you get the pole in the right place, as you tighten it down, just wiggle.
Wiggle the pole.
Wiggle the pole,
Okay.
and then tighten it down so it tightens down. Wiggle and show it again.
Video on that next time.
I want to watch you guys put it
No,
on.
I don't think we're going to be doing shimmies.
And then learn to
Come on.
tighten the
Yeah, the knot.
Except before and after the captain.
Well, and then I also asked him for, what is it called? To tighten the bottom of the net, so you just pull it.
Yeah.
And then when you're done, you just pull the lever and release it, rather than us tying it.
Yeah.
doing all
This is
the
where it's sitting in the
crazy
middle.
stuff. So,
Yeah.
I'll get on it about it, though, and see if we can have it by January for sure. See where he is.
Anything else?